Hey friends, welcome back. Have you realized that you're the only one that's holding yourself back and that no one or nothing is but yourself? And you're also realizing that you need to take control and responsibility for your thoughts, feelings, and actions because they affect your reality around you? Well, same here. We're in the same boat. And that's why I'm making this video because I want to give you three things that have helped me in the past and that are helping me right now. So that way I can get rid of that inner critic and destroy the inner enemy, the one that's holding you back. Because it's just us, really. It's our subconscious not accepting a new reality because it's so convinced of who you are right now. So you have to convince yourself, you have to live in that conviction. And before I give you those three things, I want to tell you a little story about how I overcame that inner enemy a while back, about 10 years ago. It all starts in Houston when I first started my solo project that I'm still doing right now, but turned into a duo. But at that time, I was coming from a lot of different bands that was just playing shows all the time and maybe recording here and there, but I never really saw myself as a solo artist until all those bands just broke up. They didn't work out, and I started thinking differently. I started listening to more solo artists and more electronic music and all kinds of things. And I didn't have any of the gear or anything to record myself with good quality. I was with a friend, and he would help me out, right? Like he would help me record at his studio, but it wasn't anything that we released or anything. It was just kind of like, let's see where it goes. I'll help you out. And his priorities were there. So I was like, okay, I need to do something. The inner critic in me at that time was just like, well, you're not an engineer. You're not a producer. Like, why are you looking into that? Like, stop, right? But in my mind, and I mean, in my heart, I was just like, no, like I felt that I wanted to do that. So I had to shut up that inner critic, right? That inner enemy, I had to shut it down. And one night I realized that I needed to go and get the equipment so I can start producing my own beats. And that happened because I quieted my mind. Like was literally like, breathing and listening to that intuition and that inspired thought. And kid you not, the next day I went to Guitar Center and I bought this bundle package. It was a computer um, with like all the equipment, like a microphone. It had little this thing right here, MPK Mini, which is a controller, basically like it's like a MIDI controller. But I didn't really know how to use it, and I ended up just practicing and practicing every day and working on the same thing for like weeks, right? Like the same beat. And I remember it was so funny. My sister, she was studying next door, and in her room, we were living at my parents' house, and she came over and she was like, "Why are you keep playing the same thing? Like I'm trying to study. Can you turn it down?" And I'm like, "Oh, my bad." But later on, she realized when she went to my shows why I was so honed in on it because I was able to create basically an EP, and that same year I put it out and I started playing a bunch of shows, and it led me to a bunch of other things. It led me to find my music partner, which he's still my music partner to this day, Coffee, and we're a duo, right? And the day that the duo was solidified was our first show together at a festival where we played those beats that I made in my room, and we killed it. It was like 1 p.m., really hot out in Houston. Over 1,000 people were there. I was like crowd surfing and like just super excited, like worked myself up. It was crazy. It took me like a whole hour to catch my breath. It was wild. But needless to say, him and I both, we were starting to get paid after that. That was the last show that we did that was for free. And ever since then, we've just been getting paid to perform. We've taken it more seriously, and now it's been 10 years. So if I hadn't silenced that inner critic and destroyed that inner enemy, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't have the relationship with my best friend, basically, Coffee, my music partner. I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have a lot of different experiences that that I have. I probably most likely wouldn't have my son either because the way that happened with his mom, like it had to do with my music and everything. So you see what I'm saying? Like you have to take those chances a lot of times and believe in yourself. Silence that inner critic. Destroy the inner enemy that's holding you back. And that's what I'm doing now because these past few years just went through some stuff and my old life fell apart. But now the new life is is being built. So I'm excited, and that's why I wanted to share these three things with you. The first one is never compare yourself to anyone, and I know that's cliche, and we hear that all the time, right? That's why I made it number one, because it's the most obvious. You have to stop comparing yourself to somebody. That person's experience is probably on a different level because your day one is their day 100. So you have to start somewhere. Me with this YouTube journey, I'm uploading more and more. I'm finally at 100 subscribers and I feel happy. I already feel successful, even though I'm not getting paid just yet, but it's coming, right? And you just have to take that leap, believe in yourself, get out of your comfort zone. And that's what that means by not comparing yourself to somebody, because yeah, like nobody's living your journey. Focus on your journey. The second thing is remember those times in your life that you've overcome an obstacle or solved something. Maybe it was a goal or whatever it was. Like I can think back at a time whenever I was younger, I loved to skateboard and I always wanted to ride the ramps. And I would see it and it looked so scary. And when I was up there, it was scary and I would fall all the time. And I just kept coming, picking myself back up and going and trying and trying and trying. Eventually, I dropped in and I was able to ride those ramps like nothing. And still to this day, I'm 36 and I don't really skate that much anymore. I do have a board and I can go to the skate park right now and drop in and just ride around and cruise because I learned that so long ago. It's muscle memory. And I overcame that uh, fear, the doubt, and all that stuff just by trying it. So remember those times. And I'm remembering those times because I know that that was harsh, man. I would have sprained ankles and bruises and cuts, all kinds of stuff, like physical pain. So I know that I can do anything else. I can overcome whatever pain, whatever setback, whatever it is. So the third thing is going to be to practice feeling like you already are where you want to be or who you want to be. And I don't think a lot of us realize sometimes that the product of an experience, like the end product of an experience, is an emotion, is a feeling, right? So let's say you want to find somebody, your goal is to find love, right? Your goal is to be wealthy, your goal is to be healthy, whatever it is. You have to start at the feeling of the goal, like where you're already finished, because the finish point is the starting point. And I know that sounds weird, but think about it. If an experience is an emotion, we're really working towards an emotion. So why not start feeling that emotion now? Train your mind. And like I said earlier, the subconscious is basically our worst enemy, or it could be our best assistant, right? So it could assist us in whatever we want to achieve, or it can be our worst enemy and hold us back. So which one are you choosing? Just remember those three things that I share with you, and I want to hear what works for you, because it might not be those things, it might be something else, and I want to know because you got to put me on, on the game. And yeah, I appreciate you watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Make sure you hit that like button, and much love. See you guys on the next one.